Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Back for an early stream of Vampire the Masquerade Night Road, which I'm so excited to keep playing. I just absolutely couldn't wait until later in the day. I wanted to play it now, and I'm probably going to keep this time until we finish the game because I love it, and I apologize for my unbelievably squeaky chair. So, as you can see, I changed some things around a bit. My camera's a little bit, or my, where you can see my face is a little bit bigger. My background's a little bit bigger, and I made the text larger, and I changed the background, which was inspired from watching the Primogen play this last night. So, yeah. And what did we do? Let's see. We fought. Well, we didn't fight. We hid and ran away from a Nosferatu White. We met the Prince Litau from Tucson, and we got 3 courier jobs, I guess. And now it is time, and we got a car, which we couldn't afford anything else, which is super sad. Hi, Vampire Monster. Welcome to the stream. And we have a car. And our sire, Julian Simms, who abandoned us not too long ago, decided to pop back into our lives and tell us information that we already know. So that's fun. And right now he's still giving us the spiel of all the stuff that we already know and trying to, I don't know, make us on his side again or something. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I did move my microphone in a different position because I just didn't like where it was in the last stream, but I was too lazy to move it around. And yeah, we're just going to jump right back into it. Let me know if you can't see me, hear me, if the music's too loud, all of that good stuff. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to keep reading a vampire story. They're right to be afraid of the Second Inquisition, Julian says when you get back. The SI has infiltrated the US government. Or maybe it always was the US government. Who knows? Prince Lettow is hiding how afraid he is. If he thinks you're involved with them in any way, he'll panic, and you know what princes do when they panic. He takes out his phone, checks the time, frowns a little. You're going to need better security than this if you stay here, he says. What are you going to rig up? Cameras? Poison gas like we used in Fort Worth? Maybe laser tripwires? God, I've been all over the Southwest. I've been to Fort Worth. I've been to Fort Worth once, and it was horrible. Really hot. Despite the late hour, it takes a while to get Julian off the subject of security. Finally, he drops his voice and says, You need to be ready for the SI, Huddy. Anyway, I've been thinking about Isla. I'm going to say Isla. Shut the fuck up. Oh, man. I regret what I did to that elder every night. Oh, we did something to an elder. Nice. Why bring up our crimes now? Let's not speak of it. I'm going to say I regret I did that elder every night, and I've never forgiven Julian for leading me down that twisted path and away from the traditions of the kindred, because I want to know more information about it. And some days, I bet, Julian says, but guilt doesn't become creatures like us, Huddy. We're here to learn from our mistakes, not dwell on them. That's hard, you think, when Ayla still swims in your blood. Oh, we diablerized her. Awesome. You've buried those memories as deeply as you can, and some days you can still see the curve of Ayla's throat. Worse, sometimes you see the world through her eyes, things that never happened to you, touches from mortals who have long since crumbled to dust. The stains on your soul, visible to the eyes of a sensitive enough vampire, have faded, you tell yourself, but you never feel clean. It's almost sunrise, Julian says, checking his phone. I'm late for prayer. He slips a business card out of his glitch hoodie and says, With my usurper contact dead, my old Denver company 2100X is on hiatus. But I'm thinking about the future, the 22nd century. Think about that, Huddy. It's sort of a blank spot in our imagination. I mean, human imagination, too. We talked about the 21st century as kids. We can still, in a way, imagine the far future. But what's coming? What's it going to be like 80 or 100 years from now? Because I plan to be there, and I want your help. Okay. You're getting the impression that the Camarilla wants you. Maybe Prince Letov just wants you as a patsy in case the Second Inquisition hits him like the fists of God. But he hasn't mistreated you yet, and you know that kindred of the Camarilla do not serve two masters. Could do some rolls here. You can tell me the details tomorrow. Now you should go before you burn. I'm not 100% in, but I'm interested and I want to hear more. I lie, pretending to be interested while making it clear to anyone still listening, like Letov, that I'm not. Calm plus subterfuge. I'll call you. I commit the card to memory, but I'm hedging, not committing one way or another. What scheme of yours has turned out well, Julian? Please just go. Fuck your hard sell, Julian. I'm not saying no, but I get right up in his face to make it clear I won't be yanked around. Not again, never again. Charisma plus intimidation. Maybe it would be better to discuss plans in my haven. I can't believe I'm inviting Julian to spend the day, but he's charming in his own strange way. All right, so no, we're not going to invite our sire in, but we are going to lie. I'm just curious, though, to see what our stats are here. So composure is 2, subterfuge is 1. How much hunger do we have? Protect the weak. Oh, I got 1 protect the weak. Regret your sins. Got 1 for those. Got 2 hunger. So we'd have 2 blood die and 1 regular die. That should be fine. Let's try and lie. My God. Let's lie. Next. We don't want Prince Letov to think that we're going to betray him or anything, because we don't need that on the road. If Prince Letov is actually hearing this conversation, you're probably already dead. But there are other stranger ways of knowing possessed by the kindred. And some of them allow for ambiguity. You hint to Julian that you're interested, and he jumps on your hesitant enthusiasm. With your help, he quickly grows convinced that you'd be thrilled to help him in whatever mad scheme he's concocted this time. Maybe you are willing to help him. You haven't decided yet. What matters is that you don't actually make any kind of formal commitment. You just let Julian believe you have. I still haven't decided on the details, Julian says, but I'll be in touch. Figure out where you're going first, and I'll try to help. He hands you a card with information about how to reach him, the motel where he's staying, and the location of a drop box. There's a little glyph like a knife doodled on the card. A karambit, he says. I'm not exactly a regular member of Clan Banu Hakim, so that's what I'm using instead of the old 2100 logo to mark my holdings. No name yet, just the mark. Look for it, Huddy. I don't know what a karambit looks like. Then he opens the door to your little office room, scans the shadows, and disappears down the garage, in no evident hurry despite the proximity of sunrise. The metal door swings shut. You let the shock of Julian Simms' return fade, and then check your DW. I don't remember what the DW stands for. She said what type of watch it was, but I don't remember. And check your DW watch as you take it off. It's 6:20 a.m. You secure the door, drop the deadbolt, and strip out of your professional wardrobe. You don't even have time for a shower, so you just unroll the sleeping bag and make sure your phone is charging. You dream of flying high over the Alps at night. Do kindred dream? I don't know. It seems to be contradictory whether they do or not. The roar of a single cedar engine in your ears, a silk scarf wrapped around your throat to keep off the cold, though you are already colder than anything else in these skies. Your dream shifts to a huge moon over a city you know so well that no name comes to mind. All turquoise domes and tall towers, black against the midnight sky. And then the same city, except it is only a village, low mud huts, donkeys, children laughing. It's morning, and the sun feels hot against your back and your bare limbs. Not dreams, memories. And one last memory, forcing your eyes open like lifting an iron gate and looking up at two eager fledglings from your own clan, and watching frozen as the younger one's fangs slide out. You open your eyes for real and check your phone. It's 5:49 p.m., sunset. Ayla is asleep again. I understand. You shower, scraping the last of the filth out from under your fingernails. Then you decide where you're going. You don't want to keep Prince Letov waiting for you as you make a decision. Your first stop will be... All right, here we go. So, when we first got our courier missions, so to speak, from Prince Letov, it was... Who was it? It was Tremere, Bruja, and... Was it... I can't remember. Aventru? I think so. So, Patermuster is the Bruja, I believe, in St. Basil's Hospital in Phoenix. Ellen Olive Krona is the Ventru at the migrant camp outside Sierra Blanca, Texas. And Invidia Cowell is the Tremere at the research facility in New Mexico. So, where we're going to go first... we're in Arizona, right? Don't know which one would make the most sense since I don't know the West Coast that well. I think I want to go to the Sierra Blanca, Texas, and then maybe swing around back to New Mexico and then back to Arizona. I think that's how I want to do it, and then go to Tucson after that. Hi, Nerdbert. Carry on, my wayward son. Hi, Paladin Demo. Yeah, so I think we're going to go to Texas and sort of swing back and around, and that's how we'll do this. So let's go to... I bet there's tons of money to be made at Camp Sheffler if I can get into the blood trade there. I go there first. Let's do that. So let's go beat the Ventru. Just know the Missouri portion of Route 66. I've only ever lived on the East Coast, so I only know the East Coast that well, though, like, in any sort of way. Chapter 4, Camp Sheffler. Tucson, Arizona, night of November 6th, sunrise 6:45 a.m. You drive the BMW, yeah, that's the car I picked, around your parking lot a few times, getting a feel for it as the lights come on all over Tucson. The gray sedan feels shakier than during your test drive, and there's a lot of rust and interior damage. Yeah, it's like from the 80s. Still, when you drop the hammer, the little BMW picks right up to speed, and it still feels tough and solid in the sea of Chevy Silverados and Ford Raptors you weave through as you head uptown. You spot the Viper nightclub, accelerate hard, and scream to a halt outside. It's still early and the party won't start for hours, but Prince Letov is already awake. You see his eagle Riga perched nearby. You double-check your maps. A few minutes later, a mortal flunky in an Ed Hardy t-shirt runs up to your BMW with a USB on a lanyard. The flunky also makes sure you have your typewritten sheet of directions and false government IDs. Only delivered to Ellen Olive Krona, he says. It's a 7-hour drive to the big nothing on the map between Texas and Chihuahua, assuming this information is accurate. That means you can get there in one night and back the next. You've checked where you can stay on the way if you refuse shelter. There are a few hotels nearby, but you're going to be heading right out into the desert. You hope you don't have to spend a day wrapped up in a body bag. It's bad for the nerves. Julian calls you somewhere outside of Benson. A kill team is coming for Ellen Olive Krona, he says. Details are on the USB. You glance at the USB. It's just a regular-looking thumb drive, but it's encrypted. A kill team? The SI? In that case, why didn't Prince Letov tell you to, hurry? You're probably wondering why you weren't told to hurry, Julian says. I can hear you sighing. That's good. It's good to keep breathing. Anyway, as usual, the ivory tower is acting like a good thing will last forever. Maybe you've passed that rat's nest of a mobile home park in Mescal. That's their work too. But this is worse. The program at Camp Sheffler could fuel half of our people in Texas, but it's run by a greedy idiot. I'm offering you a deal. Let's take it over. You consider what to say. Obviously, Julian just blew your phone's cover so badly that you'll have to get rid of it. But now that you're talking, you need information. Okay, so he wants us to take over this sort of migrant camp where they take blood from people and, funnel it back to Tucson, apparently, or anywhere else in the Southwest. Something about this doesn't add up, and I think it's putting me in danger. How many SI goons am I going to have to kill to get out of there? I'm interested, but you need to tell me more. I don't like going in blind. I don't actually want to run a prison camp for Mexicans where we steal their blood, It sounds like Ellen has a good thing going. Why ruin it? Tell me what you know. I'm actually going to say I don't actually want to run a prison camp for Mexicans where we steal their blood. I'm going to actually say that. Since that already seems, the character that I have already seems to just be, in general, sad about their existence and trying desperately to hang on to their humanity. That although they were sad as a human and had no direction and no motivation and were contemplating, ending it all, they aren't any happier in their own life. I don't want to do all kinds of things. Oh, oops, that's Julian talking. I don't want to do all kinds of things, Huddy, but I have to eat. And it's not like we can fix the world's problems after all. This is humans doing awful things to other humans. But if someone's going to skim off the top, it might as well be us. You'll notice that I'm not the one who fucks up all the time and draws the SI down on my head. That's the ivory tower. We can do better than them. You say. What people like Ellen don't understand is that the actual location of the camp doesn't matter, Julian says. Just the government connections that keep the blood and bodies flowing. The data. We need the data. If we can get access to our information, we have everything we need. Let the mortal government snatch the bodies we need. Once we have Camp Sheffler's data, we'll be set up again in months, with all the connections we need to keep the operation running. You turn Julian's words over in your mind. Oh, one last thing, your sire says. Your phone is now compromised. Thanks, Julian. There's a storage place off exit 306, Julian says. Go to unit 43, passcode is 3847. Drop your phone there, don't destroy the SIM, then pick up the new one on the shelf. That's the only way you're finishing this job. He hangs up. You pull into the storage facility and do what you're told. The new phone is another disposable burner. Julian, you realize, isn't hiding from the Second Inquisition. He's using what they think they know to move them around the board, in a game you don't fully understand. Security is tight around Camp Sheffler. You're followed once you turn off the main road, first by the Texas Highway Patrol, then by some kind of patriot militia group in a Chevy Tahoe flying Gadsden and Blue Lives Matter flags. So you can see, it's been a long time since I've been in America. Just gonna leave this cap off, make it easier. They only peel off when you reach the outer periphery of the camp. High fences topped with razor wire guarded by men in face masks and goggles. The face masks look like respirators, and they're all painted the same way, like a great cat's mandibles. Though everyone seems to have respirators and at least one cat skull logo, weapons and other equipment are heterogeneous and irregular. From their mannerisms, you detect a mix of competent ex-military, police/security personnel, and untrained fringe militia types. That sounds about right. The gate guard looks from your government ID to your very much non-government BMW, shrugs, and waves you around to the parking lot. Throughout history, certain kinds of prisons have served as neutral meeting spaces and feeding grounds for the kindred. Insane asylums, concentration camps, and gulags have drawn vampires with the promise of easy blood and relative security. Olive Krona, shadow director of Camp Sheffler and member of Clan Venture, has hidden this place from regular inspection and allowed it to fester and grow ripe. You roll past open-air holding pens where prisoners sit wrapped in reflective plastic blankets, watching your BMW with expressions of hopeless despair. Guards patrol with rifles or dogs. As you finish your circuit and park, you watch some kind of shift change among the prisoners. They're being put to work in long, low Quonset huts. The wind carries the stink of unwashed and unhealthy bodies, and this is autumn. You wonder how they don't all boil in the summer. Oy, 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 oy. It's upsetting because it's actually what's going on in the States right now. The moment you step out of the car, a tall, dark figure of indeterminate gender in a dark suit approaches you and says, "Give me the USB." No, we have to give it to Olive Krona only. No. My orders are explicit. I deliver the USB to Olive Krona. Okay, now I'm giving you a new order, you fucking parasite. Give me the USB. No. Olive Krona only. Oh, God. Oh, we can try. Ooh. We can try and be sneaky. I give them a USB drive, not the USB drive, of course. I stay cool and palm the real one. This deception will let me hand the flunky a blank. Oh, we should totally try that. It's the same roll we did before with Julian, and it seemed to work. So let's try it again. This is gonna go really bad. Do it. Fine, you say. You hold up your hands in a gesture of surrender, flick your right hand, make the swap with your left, and hand them the blank USB. They blink, obviously suspicious, and turn the USB over, but there's nothing obviously wrong or weird about it. Come with me, they say. You start to protest, but Olive Krona's flunky glances back at the armed guards. A few of them are watching you now. That's not good. Come with me, they repeat. They lead you to a bright red Quonset hut, but guarded by a man and a woman who are also dressed in dark suits. I'm sorry, Nile, the woman tells your escort, but Olive Krona can't be disturbed. I have information from Tucson, Nile says. The woman shifts uncomfortably. I know, but... Is that you, Nile? That must be Olive Krona. She's inside. Is Huddy there? It doesn't matter. I'll have to wait. Just give her a place to stay for tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm busy. I have data from Tucson, Nile says, but only silence answers them. Shit, the flunky mutters. They glance your way, then say, I'll find a place for you to stay, Huddy. Don't wander far. Now to figure out a way to deliver the real USB. You wander right back to your BMW. Someone stuck a boot on it. Great. It looks like you're staying. Bitches. They put a boot on my car. You get a consolation prize for your booted BMW, a lanyard that lets you wander around without getting shot. You also get a private trailer, too, complete with a shower. Trapped, but not exactly a prisoner, you explore the complex. The camp is laid out like an open-air prison, with temporary Quonset huts serving as separate holding pens for men, women, and children. Due to overcrowding, an overflow pen topped with razor wire holds several hundred more people. Right up next to that pen is a place called Millicent's, a kind of Rick's Cafe American for kindred, where the vessels are so plentiful it's almost free. After using your ID to pass the security checkpoints, you poke your head inside Millicent's and count not just well-heeled Camarilla types, but also anarchs of all kinds lounging among the dazed-looking blood dolls among the low couches and glittering lamps that establish a sort of 1920s French Algeria, 1990s Pier 1 store style to the place. Holy crap, what a clash of styles. Is Pier 1 still a thing? I remember going to Pier 1 when I was a kid to look at the furniture. You're pretty sure the biker gang is made up of gangrel since there are 2 wolves among the Outlanders. You also spot some creepy-looking figures in boiler suits that you've heard about but never met. Russian exiles, mostly rabble if the stories you've heard are to be believed. You listen in on some conversations and learn the names of a few lunatics, sewer rats, and clanless hangers-on that the new, more aristocratic Camarilla wouldn't normally tolerate. Millicent herself is small, frail, and elderly. A peculiar choice for the embrace by most standards. She looks like a librarian from a black and white movie. But it sounds like everyone is welcome to grab a drink at Millicent's. This is incredible. No, vampire get used to living the good life. No, I don't think so. This place is a fucking atrocity. All right, calm down. How careful is all of Krona? I try to have an eye toward the future, and this place can't be efficient. What ways can I see to improve it? I don't want to call it a fucking atrocity, because, you know, you can have like an operation where that does this with blood dolls and stuff. They are vampires after all, but it is a fucking atrocity, like, as a human. I'm gonna say I try to have an eye toward the future, and this place can't be efficient. What ways can I see to improve it? Like, don't have to make the prisoners' lives miserable. It shouldn't have them there at all, but that's not what the issue here. You watch as the biggest Malkavian you've ever seen shares a hollow-eyed vessel with a hard-looking Bruja in a Soviet captain's uniform. You consider weak points, slack, vulnerability. Millicent herself is sort of half bartender, half madam, generally allocating blood dolls based on preference and whim. That's fun for the locals and the regulars, but this place should be part of the blood trade, not just a personal playground for this mix of Camarilla anarchs and not even good enough to be anarchs. What you need is information on all of Krona's interstate operation, and then you can really start making improvements. Or you could start with the amount of blood theft that's going on. The Soviet K-Knight is using a needle to steal blood even as he drinks. Of what use is blood measured in cubic centimeters? Those look like biomedical samples. Interesting. You head back outside and check the mortal guards. They are a truly bewildering mix. Some are actual police, state police, or from nearby municipalities. Others give every indication of belonging to the armed forces, from their kit to the way they carry themselves. Others are just fringe militia types, citizens patrol, patriot groups, even bikers, loaded up with ammunition and given those cat skull masks. You see men and women in suits, some of them wearing windbreakers or lanyards that indicate they're with ICE or Border Patrol, the FBI, or even the ATF. What an operation. Jeez. Germany. Food at your fingertips, a loyal army of soldiers, and a situation that blends perfectly into the chaos and carnage humans have wrought on one another. Ellen Olive Krona has built her own private paradise here for vampires. Everyone else is in hell. Exactly. You constantly see Nalay and lesser underlings running back and forth on errands to maintain the place. That's a sneaker net, data being physically carried from place to place, just like what you do. Data is flowing everywhere here, and it has to be coming from a central source. If you could get your hands on all that blood traffic data, who knows what Julian and you could do with it? Of course, neither Olive Krona nor Prince Letta would be happy if Julian copied the data and set up his own little oasis. Okay. How bad is how hungry are we? It's 2, right? Oh god, we're at 3 hunger. God damn it. We are hungry. Okay, so we could feed. We could go to Millicent's and select a vessel. Or we could feed on one of the prisoners. We could get the boot off of our car, or we could try anyway. We could look for something to steal. We could look for a way to free the people. Or Julian wants allies to exploit this place. I head outside and talk to the anarchs. We are hungry, so I guess we'll feed. I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to try and... I don't care about the boot on my car. Let's see if we can't find... Now, I don't know if this means the people in Millicent's or if it means the people in the prison. But I want to find out either way. So I'm going to say, can't let the camera just feed on these people. I'll look for a way to free them. I don't know if he's talking about the prisons or the Millicent's, because they look like they're there happily. You're not sure how you'd even begin going about a jailbreak. There must be hundreds of people here. And so they're talking about the prison. And the relative amateurishness of the security personnel makes extracting them more difficult, not less. But as you patrol the camp, looking for weaknesses in the defenses, you see a few opportunities. Several fences are vulnerable. Most are electrified, but you might be smart enough to avoid circuits and carefully snip a few vulnerable sections. Alternatively, though, you still can't get to your car. You might be able to borrow a vehicle and move into position for a fast getaway. You'd have to dodge patrols all night, tiring work requiring total focus, but once it's moved, people might be able to use it to escape. Or assuming that at least some of the prisoners already know a way out, you could prep them for desert survival. Someone with survival training could lift supplies from the guards and then leave caches outside to ease their flight. Finally, this is the simplest, though perhaps not easier than any of the others. You could just bribe some guards to look the other way when the time comes. Not all of them are happy about their work, and some street smarts and a roll of 20s might get you further than more complicated tricks. Oh god. Of course, the fading from sight thing is already there. Alright, so intelligence and clandestine and intelligence and survival. Because I want to help them escape. It's probably stupid of me. I have high intelligence. Clandestine. I got 3 survival. So I think it might be easier to help them escape. Or if anybody wants to jump in the chat and say, like, no, don't help them escape. I want to. I want to help them escape. I don't want to use obfuscate, I don't think, to do so. But it shouldn't be that hard to use my knowledge of the wilderness and prep the escapees for survival. Apparently I don't have enough money to bribe anyone. I have like $200, which apparently isn't enough to bribe anyone, which is a bummer. Oh man. It shouldn't be that hard to use my knowledge of the wilderness and prep the escapees for desert survival. That's what? I think I have 3 intelligence and 3 is 6. That's 3 blood dice and 3 normal dice. I think that should be enough. I don't know. Let's try. Trucks regularly deliver water to the camp, and while the prisoners are locked up, you need to feed first, then rescue. Well, I'm doing rescue first, then feed. Trucks regularly deliver, or I won't feed, I don't know. Maybe I'll find a coyote out there. Trucks regularly deliver water to the camp, and while the prisoners are locked up and watched, most of the supplies really aren't. You have no difficulty finding military-issue packs of food and water. The only tricky part will be scattering them around where people need them. Fortunately, you and Julian used to do this sort of thing before you became a courier. I grab as many supplies as you can carry and head out into the desert. It takes you only a few hours to find good spots for the supplies away from the patrols and, you hope, the gangrel that roam the wilds. These supply caches won't last long, but if you act in the next few nights, people might have a chance. Okay, you've been ordered to the red tent, and you feel eyes on you as you step outside. After a few minutes spent checking possible exits, you enter the red tent for the first time. The guard dog that's always outside takes the lead. You follow, wow, Malinois. Most of it isn't offices like you were expecting. Instead, dozens of migrant prisoners, mostly women, are lined up in front of refurbished laptops, performing mechanical Turk-style labor. A few with good English skills appear to be phone banking for Texas politicians, wow, or Christian charity organizations. Wow, wow, wow. Past a security door is a crude facsimile of a government office, complete with faux wood-paneled walls and a deep blue carpet. You smell blood. You step around Nalay and peer into a filing room. Olive Krona looks like the picture you saw of her. She's tall and gaunt with long blonde hair arranged in an elaborate braid. She wears a blue-black pantsuit decorated with more silver jewelry than most government workers. Her colorless eyes meet yours. You detect a flicker of distaste and disappointment. She's currently standing over a man with 3 bullets in his chest who is wheezing blood atop a folding table. You must be the Malkavian, she says. You can tell it requires an effort not to say lunatic. Here, look at this. The man is definitely dying. He's lost tons of blood, and all of Krona doesn't seem interested in helping him. You recognize his Arizona Diamondbacks jersey from when he and Carlos were in your parking garage. Nalé slips past you to stand beside Olive Krona and study the dying man. The Malinois watches without moving or making a sound. Call a doctor? Nah. He was spying on us. If it's so important that you save him, give him some vitae. This man is dying anyway. I drained him of blood. If it's so important that you save him, give him some vitae. I don't know what she wants. Miguel is already a ghoul, Olive Krona says, and he's far too gone for even vitae to fix. Leto should have loaded you up with more juice, eh, Miguel? The man's eyes meet Olive Krona's, then they look past her and turn glassy. He's dead. See if he has anything, the Ventrue tells Nalé. The retainer adjusts their gloves and searches the dead man's Arizona Diamondbacks jersey. They find a card for the Viper nightclub with 4 inscrutable words written on the back. Ask Julie for ticketing. Give me the USB, Olive Krona tells you. Right, your job. You finally hand her the USB. Nalé looks horrified when they realize what you did, but the retainer says nothing. Good, say nothing. Oh, look how pretty. Oh, I love her hair. I'm guessing, based on her name, that she's supposed to be Swedish or Scandinavian. Danish or something like that. Absolutely love the art. The art is fantastic. Olive Krona opens... I'm giving her a British accent because I couldn't possibly do a Swedish accent. Olive Krona opens a laptop and inserts the USB. A command line interface asks for a password, and she enters Ask Julie for ticketing. A folder opens full of PDFs. The Ventrue glances at the two of you, then turns the screen away. The Second Inquisition is coming, Olive Krona says. Thank you, Leto. Nalé clears their throat, then says, Isn't that a problem, ma'am? An opportunity, Olive Krona says, rubbing the head of her Malinois. I don't know what that is. Is that a dog? The animal elicits no reaction. For too long, I've tolerated all kinds of trash at this open feeding hole. Now the SI gives me the opportunity to get rid of the anarchs, the hangers-on, the filth. We will take the data we've gathered here and use it to stake a claim at another holding facility. There are dozens to choose from, and the new one will be for the Camarilla alone. She checks what Letov wrote her again. Yes, this confirms what I know, and what I've planned for. Nalé, a kill team from the Information Awareness Office at the Pentagon will be here in the morning. Your plans are waiting in your office. Read them now. Leave us. Nalé gets out of there, leaving you with a very satisfied-looking Ventrue. And at that moment, she is every inch the Ventrue, a born ruler, always 3 steps ahead, always totally in control. She looks you up and down, hardly bothering to hide her distaste, then gestures for you to sit. So you're still here, she says. If you're looking for more work, I could use you, Huddy. I reward loyalty. Her eyes narrow and her earrings glitter in the cheap artificial light. I return loyalty. That's all we kindred have, you know, our bonds with each other. Technically, you finished your job here and should be able to walk right back to your car. But before you can say anything, Olive Krona says, Camp Sheffler can always use a competent professional who is not already entangled in local politics. In exchange for helping me with certain matters here, perhaps I could teach you something. This might be an opportunity to earn the Camarillas' respect rather than their grudging cooperation. Well, I already tried to help the prisoners. Guess I could go back on that. Let's see, what does Ventrue have? Ventrue has Dominate, Fortitude, and Presence. Yeah, I prefer to work in cash. I need money. I need money. I respect that, the blue blood says. Sometimes it's unhealthy to grow too close. But if you change your mind, and if you serve me well, of course, I am willing to share my clan's secrets of mental command and near invincibility. And of course, she settles her hand on the head of the Malinois. But tell me, if you're only looking for money, why are you still here when the road offers so many opportunities for an ambitious young neonate? That's a good question, and one that might not deserve an honest answer. Be straightforward. If cautious, I'm here to help the Camarilla. I'm impressed with what you've done here. I need to start transferring data and power from all of Krona to me and Julian. I choose my words carefully. My real goal is freeing the prisoners. I consider what I should say. Warning, remember what the Banu Hakim curse is. Yeah, I know. I am aware. I really do want to free the prisoners. I just don't see it. I really do want to free the prisoners. I just don't see it being something I'd be able to do by myself. And I don't know if I really want to get data and power away from all of Krona to me and Julian. I don't know if I trust Julian any more than I trust all of Krona. But I'm definitely not impressed with what she's done here. I'm gonna choose my words carefully, whatever I decide. Oh god. And this is my careful words, eh? Wits plus the lower... What do I have here? Charisma, intimidation, intelligence the lower of streetwise, intelligence lower... Try to stay neutral and analytical, carefully gauging her mood. So this place is an abattoir. I have some problems with that. Wits and lower... Okay. This operation is really incredible. I'll stay on my best behavior and throw some deceptive compliments her way. That's the easiest route. That is the easiest route, but I don't like taking the easiest route. How's my wits? 1. And... Oh, God. The anarchs are drawing attention you don't want. I know how to deal with street criminals and I offer my services. Charisma and intimidate. What's my charisma and intimidation? Charisma. It's pretty good. Is my blood at it? How hungry am I? I'm still at 3. Oh, man. I'll just say this I'll just take the easiest route, I guess, because everything else I have sucks balls. It's incredible that we've made it this far, the Venture says. Anarchs are still worse than stray dogs. The Outlanders are the worst of them. I offer a safe haven with plenty of food, and they keep running around the desert, picking off the strays. What if they kill a citizen? That could expose my daylight identity. She considers you for a moment, then says, Huddy. It is Huddy, right? I need you to run some information to Prince Letau. I'm interested, you say. My response to Letau will include all the ways the non-Camarilla kindred here have exposed our operations or carried on in ways that are disgraceful or dangerous. You'll be paid, of course, but in addition, I will consider a more extensive arrangement for when I establish a more efficient version of this camp. I would not want you to I would not want you going to work permanently for Letov, after all. That SI raid, you say. You don't want to sound alarmist or to impugn all of Krona's abilities, but... I'll see your car moved to a secure location, she says. And free to move, of course. Also, take this. She hands you a folded map of the facility. You scan it and tuck it away. This will be useful however things go down. I give those to the people I trust, Huddy, Olive Krona says. Somehow she makes it sound like a threat. Oh boy. Olive Krona's complacency is alarming, but also strangely convincing. Has the supernatural charisma of Clan Ventru subtly influenced your reaction? No, certainly not. You stand up confident that you now have time to shift the camp's resources and information over to you and Julian. The Malinois escorts you out, then freezes and finally reacts to something, snarling at the man in the door. Holy shit. You're a hard woman to find, Ellen. I can't believe you made me leave my gamer chair. You turn at the familiar voice. Julian Simms stands in the doorway. Great. Primogen's character has low wits, too. I believe it. I think the highest thing I have is what? Resolve? Yeah, resolve and stamina. Everything else I'm crap at. The Ventrue racks her brain for a moment, then says, "The water boy?" "Julian Sim," your sire says. He's wearing a Junji Ito hoodie and a sly grin. Ellen waits a beat. You realize she's waiting for her retainers to swarm Julian, but they don't come. She reacts graciously to that revelation, gesturing for her dog to stand down. "What do you want, boy?" she asks your sire. "I want you to stop overestimating your chances," Julian says. He tosses a plastic folder full of photographs and documents on all of Krona's desk. Her eyes widen as she sorts through them. "The IO8 kill team is going to smash you to paste and then light that paste on fire," your sire says. "You don't have time to pack everything in neat little boxes. Get out now." "But yes, all your hard work, very sad. Run a tighter ship next time." "How dare you, fledgling!" Olive Krona snaps. The Malinois snarls. "That's Dr. Fledgling to you, GS10, Julian says. "What's your degree in?" "I don't know, lots of things. The point is, I'm offering my services to expedite your evacuation." "OCR scanners? Encryption?" Olive Krona asks, trying to hold in my hiccups. "No." "Then what? I drove here in a van full of librarians from the University of Arizona." Olive Krona's eyes dart from you to Julian and back to you. "Huddy, keep an eye on Sim while his librarians help me pack." The moment you're out of Olive Krona's earshot, in the fast emptying main room of the red tent, Julian says, "Get me all the data you can about this place. All I need is the information, and then I can duplicate it somewhere else. The actual people here are immaterial. There are always more people." The evacuation is really kicking off, with Olive Krona coordinating her underlings and Julian pretending to help her while stealing as much as he can. You consider how you can help, or help, as the case may be. Olive Krona keeps a lot of files and equipment on lockdown in the red tent. What is she hiding in there? If you can keep your wits about you, you could use the distraction to break into her secure area and see what's back there. Your Nosferatu contact, Lenora, could help you organize the Anarchs to load up supplies, which would take leadership skills and attention to detail, mostly to make sure they didn't steal too much. If you're smart and technically inclined enough, extensive computer data is waiting to be transferred out. The equivalent physical data, boxes of files, folders, maps, and mimeographs, would require an equal degree of intelligence, which I don't have a lot of, as well as a good understanding of academic research techniques in order to grab the most valuable material. Olive Krona's operation is already a mess, whether digital or physical. Someone with a keen eye for detail might just be able to hang around and spot everything that gets dropped, misplaced, or misfiled. That's a lot of equipment to move, and the cat mask guards aren't helping. Why would they? This is vampire business, and most of them don't understand what's happening. But you could ask Olive Krona for money and pass some of her cash around to get the guards working for you. And while the Russian Bruja would have to be persuaded to help, their tent is right next to Olive Krona's. If you could convince them to help with the evacuation instead of just fleeing, they might be useful. Finally, you could feed in the chaos. Now is an ideal time, in fact. Whatever you do, you can't let this data get caught out in the open. If the SI hits you before it's packed up, it'll be a significant breach of the Masquerade. I do need to feed. But I should actually get this shit out. Holy crap. I do actually need to feed, don't I? This is a lot of choices. This is a lot of choices. Whoever said that these games are that's why they're called choice of games. I just delivered my USB and my job is done. I got out of here. It's kind of what I want to do at this moment. Oh boy. Should I feed? If I feed, do you think then I won't have the opportunity to do anything else? It said now is an ideal time. What is my resolve is high? Resolve is high. Then I have Drive is low. Leadership is nothing. Resolve in academics? Do I have anything in academics? I don't think so. I'm not that smart. I got 1. Organize the physical files. Kind of just want to leave. I kind of just want to leave, but I won't. Oh, this is so bad. I'm gonna, because this is my highest, well, I'm gonna borrow a vehicle and hide it so the prisoners can make a quick getaway. Break into all of Krona's secure facilities and grab whatever looks valuable and useful. I guess I'll do that. Organize the files. I guess that's what I'll do. It's gonna go bad. It's gonna go bad. And I'm really hungry, and it's gonna go bad. Did I get hungrier? I have to look. No, still 3 hunger, okay. All of Krona is organized, and she hasn't followed Prince Letov's dictates about keeping physical backup copies, but she clearly wasn't prepared for a fast move. When you enter the part of the red tent that holds interstate trade documents, you find her retainers scrambling to figure out which files are necessary and which can be destroyed. You ask for a copy of the filing system and spend an hour calmly organizing the information, then pass out your recommendations to her clerks. Your plans are noticeably better than panic and argue, so they put your protocols into effect and finally start moving the necessary documents out in good order. You oversee the transfers while shredding incriminating duplicates. You peer into the back of your BMW, surprised that it's full of equipment. Key data, Julian says in answer to your question. Don't lose it. You appear to have inherited a whole file cabinet and several old tower-style CPUs. Elsewhere, the evacuation is proceeding smoothly, or at least it is until prisoners suddenly swarm out of their holding cells. All of Krona and Julian both see what's happening, and with the bloodless calculation of vampires with too much to worry about, they go back to their packing. It's time to roll, Olive Krona tells Nele. The retainer nods and gets Olive Krona and the Malnoir in her jeep. Julian gives you a smug nod and hops in his sprinter van. Prisoners are escaping in every direction and in whatever way they can. You watch the chaos for a second, but then an F-150 behind you lays on its horn and flashes its lights like you're not rolling forward fast enough in a Burger King drive-thru. The convoy is moving. You roll through the main gate. Julian used to say that when a plan went perfectly, everything was boring. He only said that about his StarCraft games, but it applies in real life too. There's some action behind you and a helicopter screams overhead 10 minutes up the road. But if the Information Awareness Office or whoever authorized this op expected a pitched battle, they should have struck earlier. You're gone. Oh, I need to find somewhere to eat really bad. Since dawn is so near, the convoy starts to break up a half hour outside the camp. You find a location taped to your sun visor. 5 more minutes of driving, you're just starting to feel nervous as the eastern sky lightens, and you turn onto a dirt road and arrive at an abandoned wildlife conservation facility. Boarded up, but so far from any major highways that graffiti has barely touched it. You check inside, the windows are covered and no light can get inside. This will do. You head into the abandoned building to rest. Is it totally abandoned? Is there no wildlife left? Oh god. Alright, so it's the next morning. How hungry am I? Tell I'm really worried about it. Still 3. Still 3. It's fine. You get back on the road the moment the sun sets. You keep off the major highways. The radio is full of wildly incorrect chatter about an invasion of Mexicans and the federal agencies trying to round them up. You reach Tucson before midnight. Oh, I switch achievement, Liberator, free the migrant prisoners. Okay, so after each one I have to go to back to Tucson. You park near Julian's Dropbox. 2 women are waiting beside a half-full Nissan Cube to take everything you took with you in your BMW. They're watching a video on their phone of the storage facility off exit 306, surrounded by police and FBI agents. This is good, maybe even great. Julian will be able to use all this data to build his own Camp Sheffler. All of Krona might be angry, but she's an angry failure right now, and it's her word against yours. You stop off at the Viper, and while Prince Letau is too busy for a proper debriefing, his retainer Alexander sits you down in front of an old-fashioned typewriter to type up what happened. When the old ghoul scans your work, he says, I doubt Prince Letau will be entirely satisfied since the Camarilla won't be able to rebuild. On the other hand, you were only tasked with delivering a message. Let us hope that we can find a way to make up for the loss of blood traffic. Alexander hands you your money. You head back to your BMW and make sure the money adds up. You return to your parking garage and park the BMW. You secure your parking garage, rechecking the security systems you established upon moving in, and go to sleep. So hungry. That day, you dream of flying. But this isn't a regular flying dream. No, this isn't even a dream. A memory? Or is it real? You're in an old single-engine prop plane high above the desert at night. You can almost reach out and touch the moon. You spot the Italian fighter plane too late, and a moment later its twin Vickerses are ripping into the wings of your Albatross D3. You twist through the air, but it's getting late, and the rising currents of hot air you rely on are almost depleted. Bullets shred your engine. The black smoke would choke you if you breathed. For the past 3 weeks, it had seemed as if all the Sahara held only 2 planes. In seconds, you realize it will only hold 1. Flames spread across your cockpit as you contemplate what you've learned in these last few horrific weeks. May 1916. If there's one thing centuries of war has taught you, it's that you miss the good life. You don't consider yourself greedy exactly, and K-Knights only have a few real needs. But a nice haven where dappled moonlight spills down into a scented garden. Soft music and softer silk. Security, peace, wealth, contentment. Maybe a few fat gold coins to let slide through your fingers. By God, is that too much to ask of the world? All right, so is he having a dream from someone he diablerized? That Ayala person? I just want some money and material comforts. Let the pleasures of civilization flow through me and let me escape the ugliness of poverty. I like the finer things, but I don't exactly need them. I defy this belief. Yeah, I would say I defy this belief. You angrily shake off these foolish notions of luxurious living and drag yourself up out of sleep. You're not in North Africa during the Great War. You're not Ayla. Ayla is dead and gone. You're Huddy and the sun has just set. You have work to do. You've learned quite a bit on your journeys. You might want to consider applying your experience toward training skills, ability, or the dark arts of the kindred. Yeah. Hungry. Spend a night investigating local news services, looking for a cheap and effective way to spread misinformation. That could be fun. Flight is my usual superpower in dreams. It's always fun. Honestly, I must not sleep well because I don't dream, like, ever. So I must not sleep well. Or it's the opposite. I'm actually not sure what happened when you enter REM sleep, if dreaming is good or bad. I actually don't know. Find a used car dealership so I can look at better vehicles. Okay. Find a mechanic. I think my BMW is fine. I look for a real estate office so I don't have to live in a parking garage. I'm not really concerned about those things right now. Need a place where I can hone my mental abilities like a library or a bookstore. Head to the Viper nightclub to hone my social abilities. I need to feed. I have the need to feed. You head to the Viper to make sure you don't commit any faux pas while hunting in Tucson. There you meet Alexander, Letau's favorite retainer, who explains the situation. After the destruction of the last prince, and before Letau's consolidation of power, hunting in Tucson was a dog-eat-dog business, with frequent and costly breaches of the Masquerade. Letau put an end to all that. First, there's no hunting anywhere near the Viper, the local Elysium. Second, the more you've proven yourself, the more risks you're allowed to take while hunting. You have not proven yourself, Alexander explains. That being the case, you are limited to the kiddie pool. He's very proud of himself for knowing that term. In exchange for a small consideration each time, Alexander will provide you with access to blood dolls, cups of fresh blood, or caged animals, your preference. Okay. How did I not prove myself? I did what I was supposed to do. I did what he asked. So what if she, messed it up or whatever? Do I get like a stat thing on my car to see how my car is doing? No Masquerade violation, so that's good. I'm really hungry though. You don't waste time looking at options after every mission. Feel free to look at everything until you're ready for the next mission. Okay, cool. The best are lucid dreams. It's where you are aware it's a dream while it's still going on, then you can naturally do anything. I don't know if I've ever had one of those. I had one dream not too long ago where it was not good, where I like was aware that I was sleeping and I couldn't wake myself up, and I was like outside my body staring at myself sleeping and couldn't wake myself up, and that was horrible. I don't know what the hell that was. I haven't had one of those since then. That was the one and only, and I hope it'll be the one and only. How considerate do I have to be? I have plans for my money that don't involve Alexander. Yeah, how considerate, how much does he want for this kiddie pool? We do not wish to rob you, Huddy, Alexander says. But remember that you are not exactly a member of the Camarilla, and we must maintain operating expenses. After a brief negotiation, ferocious but not uncivilized, you and Alexander agree to a payment of $104 per drink of blood. What? If you want to reduce that price, you'll have to improve your standing with the Camarilla. The ghoul opens a ledger. My only question is this. Do you prefer the blood dolls, the live prey, or stored blood? I know you prefer live prey, but more and more kindred these nights are squeamish about what they are. Live prey, blood dolls, the stored blood. Yeah, I don't care at this point. Whatever's cheap and convenient. Very courteous of you, Huddy, Alexander says. Though not so courteous, I can offer a discount. Oh, damn it. Whatever we have available, though, know that it will be clean and well treated. We are civilized people here. You've learned even more than when you began your journey. You might want to apply your considerable experience. All right, so, well, then what's my hunger at? What's it at? Still 4. How do I just let me eat? Let me eat. Yeah, I spend money and acquire some blood, unfortunately. Also, can I see how much money I have? Where is my money located so I can see how much I have? Inventory. Yep. BMW. It's not damaged. Resale value 0. I have $1,568. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I think. Food now. Money me money. Money now. Alexander provides you with an old ghoul whose original regnant suffered final death. A vampire in Letow's court keeps him alive with her vitae in exchange for regular blood donations. You are soon sated. And what does sated mean? Whoa, that poor dude. I took 3 dots of blood from him. He needs to go to a hospital immediately. That poor guy. Alright, so I'm feeling good now. So we don't want to do those right now. Head to the Viper. Maybe. Find a mechanic. Don't need that. Find a used car dealership so I can look at better vehicles. I'm curious to see what better vehicles I can look at. Not saying I'm going to buy one, but I'd like to look. Vampire-related dreams. I had a dream once that I was a close, trusted friend of Mikkelsen family from Vampire Diaries. It was awesome. Inventory shows you your money. Oh, thank you. I haven't watched the originals in forever, I just realized. I think I watched the first season of it. I don't know if I ever watched anymore. I don't know if it kept going. I don't really watch TV anymore. I mostly just watch Netflix. And it's German Netflix, so if it's not on here, I'm not really watching it. You turn the BMW's radio to hear the news. This is Melpomene Chen, and you're listening to Mel at Midnight. I think my music stopped. It did. According to federal sources, a fire set by left-wing terrorists during a failed breakout has torn through Camp Sheffler detention facility in Texas, killing almost 100 prisoners and 30 police officers and first responders. According to Ellen Olive Krona of Immigrations and Custom Enforcement, detainees have armed themselves and have escaped across Texas to Mel sighs. I don't know. Threaten the virtue of white women? Look, I have to read this, but you know none of it's real, right? Like, whatever happened, don't turn me off. This is a bunch of bull. Are you looking to get fit the smart way? At Paragon Fitness, we pride ourselves. You look for a place that's well-reviewed, not too connected to the Camarilla or all mobbed up, and open late in case you walk into Tucson at 4 a.m. with nothing left of your BMW but a steering wheel. Finally, you uncover a place not too far away, Rainer's Imported Autos. That sounds a bit upscale, but you decide to check it out. Hiccup. Oh my goodness. 5 seasons. Really? Okay. Had no idea. I'll have to see if it's on any streaming services I have here in Germany. That sounds a bit upscale, but you decide to check it out. And this looks like your place. Nice cars out front, men in gold ties lined up like eager dogs at the edge of the property line, a few tacky signs. But the interior is just a little dingy and hard-edged. Rainier himself greets you. He's a big, sallow-skinned guy with the easy smile of someone who is handsome in college. He looks terrible under the fluorescent lights in the neon green polo shirt he's wearing. This whole place is dangerous, but not guns and stakes dangerous. It's the kind of bad news a vampire was built to exploit. You permit yourself a small smile as Rainier leads you to the cars. Wealth, $1,256. Alright, so... Actually, I would have to go look up these cars, because I don't know anything about these cars. So... let's just start at the top, shall we? Let's look at the Mazda convertible, which I wouldn't want. This sports car was really something before the Berlin Wall came down. Even now it looks great. Blood red exterior, smooth lines, good-looking chassis. The interior is rough as hell, like a couple of werewolves either fought or fucked in there, but everything is intact. The test drive is fun as hell as the little car zips around Tucson like a Vespa. But you can feel that it's old and it's got one of those weird rotary engines. It's a fragile little thing. I wouldn't get it. It's not enough for me to... I don't know how much it is, but that's not enough for me to... $2,500? That's not enough for me. My BMW isn't worth anything. It's worth nothing. Let's look at the Saab Turbo. They don't make Saabs like they used to or at all. This gunmetal gray machine has a few spots of rust, but nothing to worry about. And the interior is in good condition. Leather seats too. The car is held up well despite its age. You take her out for a test drive and find that while the Saab's turbo means it loves to accelerate, it doesn't really like turning. It's a fast car, but not a maneuverable one. I still wouldn't get this one. No. Nah. 1800. I examined the 1995 Acura Integra. If anything from the 2000s? Holy crap. This is basically the same as my BMW. All Acuras are as unkillable as cockroaches and quite a bit nicer. This jet black Integra is a perfectly standard and unremarkable example. Unmodified and well-maintained with a clean engine and well-designed exterior. It's not the flashiest car, but your test drive tells you it does everything a car needs to do, and everything is just a little nicer than it needs to be. Nah. I could buy it for $900. It's about the same as my BMW. Look at your BMW, because it's about the same. Can I look at the stats on my car really quick? Where is it? Inventory. Inventory. My car... yeah, that's about the same as my car. Nah, I wouldn't bother. Let's look at the Toyota Tacoma. This big silver machine is tough and well made, and though it's gritty inside and out, that means something actually used it. The engine looks good and there are no signs of rust or serious mechanical wear. When you take it out on the road, it blends right in. The Tacoma was never going to handle well, even compared to modern trucks, but it feels solid and tough. If something happens to my car, I'll come back and buy the Acura Integra, but other than that, it's fine. Leave. Alright. Need a place where I can hone my mental abilities. Do I? Look for real estate. Look for some place to hone my physical skills. Head to the Viper. Let's go to the Viper. Let's go hang out there really quick. Prince Letov has a strict rule against anyone but him hunting the Viper's dance floor, but this is a safe place to hone your social skills around kindred and kind alike, as well as an opportunity to enjoy yourself for a few hours. You park your BMW in the lot across the street and head inside. You're instantly enveloped by the pounding EDM. Prince Letov is visible in the private glass box overhead. Alexander, watching from one of the balconies, tracks you down almost instantly, but once he's sure you're not going to try to feed, he bids you adieu. From here, you can circulate freely up to the balconies, down to the dance floor, out to the private and semi-private rooms, or up to Elysium. Wherever you go, you'll be able to hone your social skills. That's cool. I have 14 experience points. There's been a lot of stuff with leadership that I've done absolutely nothing with. I think maybe I should try and get a little leadership skill. Haven't seen that much with Streetwise. I might spend 1 point, or can I spend 2 points? I might spend 1 point on leadership and 1 point on Streetwise just to give myself something, then nothing. Mazda is pretty nice. Oh, the Acura Integra. He wanted one of those back when I was in high school. I thought they looked cool at the time. In 1995, I was like 7. So I've only ever owned one car, and it was a 2003 Oldsmobile Intrigue. A little red car, a nice red car. I know nothing about cars. All right, let me get a point in leadership, and let me get a point in Streetwise, and that should be good for that. Let's leave just because I want a little something. Where can I unlock deeper, more powerful secrets of the blood? Yeah, where can I unlock deeper, more powerful secrets of the blood? You consider your apartment in the parking garage. This haven is full of distractions, and you can only study the most basic disciplines here. What can I do with blood sorcery? What does celerity do? Obfuscate. I get 3 points at obfuscate. Get maybe a W, go somewhere else. What can I do with blood sorcery? Almost anything, as long as you have time, vitae, and the courage to read ancient tomes of ghastly provenance and do what they say. Blood sorcery is less a discipline and more a vast field of study that encompasses the thaumaturgy of the Tremere, the mystical traditions of your own clan, as well as the various kinds of necromancy and witchcraft. And cold and sorcery, don't forget about that. These traditions, in turn, are divided into countless paths, rituals, and practices, all of which you will be able to master in time. Unfortunately, you have no idea where to find the necessary grimoires to begin your study. Maybe you should seek out a bookstore. The seedier, more spiritually debased, the better. Let's look at I already know what celerity does, and blood sorcery, I already know what it does, but I'm looking at it anyway. Simply put, it makes you fast. The lowest levels offer you speed that almost seems possible for a world-class runner, fencer, or athlete. Beyond that, your speed is flagrantly supernatural. Your only hope not to breach the masquerade is to move so fast people literally do not see you. I kind of want to max out my blood source, my obfuscate. I don't know why, I just do. So I think I might just max out my obfuscate. Because I can. To be a master of hiding. You need a more secure and well-pointed hand for you to master this level of obfuscate. Aw, bummer. Alright, take some blood sorcery then. Or can I not? To begin your study, you should track down a bookstore that is least loosely affiliated. Maybe there's one in town? Maybe. Can I have some celerity? Can I have something? Can you give me something? Celerity increased. Alright, I got 1 point of celerity. There we go. Let's find a bookstore then. A place where I can hone my mental abilities, like a library or a bookstore. Because I'm not smart enough. That's fine. I don't need any blood sorcery right now. Let's get our physical up though. Experience points 10. For once, you have your pick of the night options, since quite a few Tucson gyms are open 24 hours, but you want more than just a gym. You want a place where you can conduct all kinds of physical training, maybe even a place where you can employ specialists to help you out. Finally, you remember a former blood doll turned useful contact you met one of the first times you were in Tucson. You hop online and find that your old contact Simone runs a gym called Paragon Fitness, like in the advertisement, not far away. You head there and find an impressive-looking modern gym. Simone is watching two kickboxers practice their technique. You renew your acquaintance with the now middle-aged athlete and ask after unusual facilities. Gym, shooting range, regular and vehicle obstacle course, and behold fights every Monday and Friday nights, Simone says. I still owe you for that thing in Tijuana, so you're welcome anytime. Just don't let anyone know what you are. We have citizens in here. All right, I got crap strength. Just crap strength. Um, I could up my athletics. I think because I'm going to go buy a gun, I'm going to up my firearms. My dex is high enough. Can't up my dexterity anyway. I'm going to up my firearms. That's good. And I'm going to buy a gun in a minute. But because I'm also curious about this, let's just go find somewhere to repair my BMW. It'll just take me to, I assume, a repair shop. I just want to see what the place is. Tucson is full of excellent auto body shops, but the only ones open late are in the pocket of the Camarilla and not any good. You suspect that Dove, the Nosferatu, has more or less exclusive access to them. You turn elsewhere, even checking around the edges of town, but nothing is open. Then you spot one of Julian's Karambit symbols. You follow it around the back of a strip mall, past a dental office and a party supply store, to a small garage that is incongruously attached to a Chinese takeout place. A young woman in a tudung, I don't know what that word is, runs up to your window. You order the curry meal, she asks. Then she steps back and gets a better look at your car. I get it. Pull ahead. Okay. The garage is called Fine Motor Skills, and it looks like a professional operation headed by an older man and his sons, while the woman handles the takeout next door. The older man looks over your BMW, stares at you for a long time, then nods. Apparently, both of you passed the test. The youngest son even smiles a little. These aren't ghouls, but they know Julian, and as long as your sire likes you, you should get reduced prices. That's good to know. Oh, you can improve stuff. Huh. That's cool. How much would it cost to improve durability? Just out of curiosity. I didn't know. Oh, I already spent it. Oops. I thought it would tell me how much it costs first. Oh, God. Leave. I didn't actually want to spend anything. I didn't think I'd actually need it. Great. Great. Spending all of my money. Well, you know what? Since I'm spending all of my money, let's look and see what else where other places we could live. Acquiring property as a K-Knight isn't easy. Some nights you think the whole point of the Camarilla is to make sure vampires can buy property. Everything else the Camarilla does, useful and monstrous, falls out of the need to make sure everyone has a roof overhead. Still, you can't live in the modified office of a parking garage forever. You've struggled to master your dark gifts on the road, but the truth is that you need a secure, comfortable haven if you're ever to unlock the deeper secrets of your arts. Further, moving house should reduce the SI's ability to track you, at least for a little while. After asking around, you learn that any real estate purchased by vampires goes through Prince Leto. He owns a place called Madrigal Real Estate, which handles the needs of people like you. The middle-aged native woman who runs the place, Anna, explains the situation. The problem isn't just that you can't head down to the real estate office at 3 in the afternoon. Your legal identity is a cobbled-together fiction that is always changing its shape to avoid scrutiny. You could use your ID to buy some Four Loko, and it's enough to let you own a car, but property? I can show you some excellent places, Anna says, with excellent ways to escape into the sewers in the event of an emergency, but will require a substantial upfront payment. That's how we handle the legal hurdles. We don't want anyone investigating your identity and wondering why your ages don't match up. Understand? You nod. It's obvious that Leto is getting his beak wet here, but in exchange, he's providing you with some degree of security if you're investigated. Well then, let's see what we can do for you, Anna says. Despite her apparent good cheer, she watches you keenly. Your status with the Camarilla, you suspect, will determine how generous she can be with your offerings. Okay. So, penthouse or the mission. Let's just leave for right now. We obviously don't have enough money for that. Let's go. Let's go hone our mental abilities really quick. Max Obfuscate lets you turn your car invisible. That's sweet. Long night, a bottle of red wine here, folks. It's entirely Bob staring the office here there. Hello, Guava Burst. Okay. You need a quiet place where you can conduct research late into the night. Libraries will be closed, and you don't know any librarians in this town from whom you could extract a favor. Colleges likewise. That leaves bookstores. You drive around Tucson until you find a likely candidate. Corbeau Used Books. No hours posted, an interior full of books stacked up without order or sense, an entire map room, and an occult section with a beaded curtain like video rental stores once used for pornos. Elaine Corbeau is an elderly eccentric translator, jazz trombonist, Heidegger scholar, and esoteric fascist. All right? You doubt he has any real power. You can squirrel yourself away in the back room and not be interrupted from twilight until dawn. So, I don't know how, like, much smarter I should be. I have 8 experience points. I don't know if I should up my wits. I think I should, just because I use... So many of the roles seem to involve wits. I could up investigation or technology, but so many of the roles seem to involve wits, I'd rather spend the extra money to up wits. And that leaves me with 2 experience points, so I could actually do investigation. I'll do 1 in investigation, and I'll do 1 in technology, and that'll use up all of my points. So, that's fine. Where am I going? Next. Alright, now we can spend a night investigating local news services looking for cheap and effective ways to spread misinformation. I don't know why we'd want to do that, but we can do that if we really want to. Blood sorcery. Jason Stephen Hill is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the developers of this game, or one of, I know it's not the writer, but you work for Choice of Games, yes? I'm not entirely sure. Poorest Haven. Yeah, wits is good. I have no wits, so I thought maybe I should make myself wittier, just to make myself a little smarter. Your initial inquiries draw the immediate attention of the Ivory Tower. You're just getting back into your car after an interesting but inconclusive conversation with an intern at Cold, a local TV news station, or KOLD, I guess what it'd be called, when a hunter green Jaguar screams to a halt and one of the old Prince of Tucson's childer steps out. Oh, one of the old princes. All right. The Blue Blood is angry, convinced that you're poaching her contacts until you explain what you're doing. Since a kill team finding and destroying you is bad for everyone, she swallows her mistrust and reluctantly offers you some advice. If you want to spread misinformation, stick with radio news. While Melpomene Chen of Mel at Midnight considers herself a crusading, Deb by night, a crusading investigative journalist, the other local gossip news fixture, Harry the Gila Monster, Jimenez, will spout any old nonsense for a modest consideration as long as the news article incorporates a lot of H's and silent G's and J's. That's his gimmick. She leaves you with 1, contact information for the Gila Monster, and 2, a few choice threats. Given your limited talent for deception... So was that supposed to be Olive Krona who stepped out of there, or no? I'm not sure. Given your limited talent for deception and misdirection, you estimate that the inducements necessary to plant these false stories will run you around $700 if you act tonight. But if you go through with it, hunters will be thrown off the scent and you'll be in the clear unless you slip up again, of course. I don't think I need to do any of those things because I haven't breached the Masquerade, right? I don't have a Masquerade breach. I don't have any Masquerade violations. I'm good. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so. Editor. Awesome. Thank you for being here. And thank you for this game. This game is amazing. I'm having so much fun making really terrible decisions. I pick up the parcel for the Bruja Patermuster and take it to St. Basil's Hospital. I can't remember where they were. I think I said we're gonna do Texas, then New Mexico, then end it in Arizona, where it's just like a closer to home, so to speak. Yeah, let's go to I think it was Sierra Blanca? I can't remember anymore. Chapter 5. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Kiowa Xenogenetics. Maybe. Tucson, Arizona, night of November 15th, sunrise 6:53 a.m. The parking lot outside the Viper is a mess, even though it's too early for the party to really start. As you turn in, you have to slam on your brakes as a piss yellow Chevy Nova SS. There's so many cars in this story, and I feel terrible because I know nothing about cars. It's just words. I don't know. Roars past you and accelerates the wrong way down West Alameda. Asshole. Do I have to make the roll down the window gesture? A clear, slightly accented voice says, "Do people still understand that, or is that an anachronism?" Prince Leto himself is standing outside, dressed in white and flanked by the mortal flunky you remember from last time. He tries to say something, but a GMC Denali rumbles past and he has to wait. Finally, he says, oh, this is the prince talking, "You have 2 deliveries this time, Huddy." 2 deliveries means 2 payments. Is there a problem? Anything I can help with? If I can impress Prince Leto, I can improve my position in the Camarilla, which is obviously clearly important because it gives me discounts on everything, and then I don't have to spend so much outrageous money on getting blood from Alexander when I need it. So yeah, definitely picking that one. Diablerie is the way. You should strive to attain oneness with Hakim. Yeah, I should. I should go back to that, convenience store, that abandoned convenience store, and diablerize that Nosferatu white. Yeah, I don't have any Masquerade violations yet. Your response is drowned out by a Kawasaki bike that revs up and takes off. At least its rider goes the right way down the street. I've never been to Tucson, Arizona. I've been to the Grand Canyon, but I don't think I've ever actually went to any towns in Arizona. Obviously Tucson is a bustling, happening place with all these sweet souped up cars and bikes everywhere. "This will help you if Dr. Cowell is difficult," Prince Letov says, handing you a letter of introduction written on vellum in Latin. The laminated English copy is for the facility's human security. It basically says that no one should stop you from speaking with Dr. Cowell. It's good to feel important. He gives you a portable push-button lockbox that contains the actual message. "What about the other delivery?" you ask. "Someone will find you on the road," the prince says. "Look for a red Corolla." That's dangerous and complicated, but Prince Letov has already walked away to talk to another courier. There are, 5 in this parking lot? You don't recognize any either. Most of them must be Prince Letov's personal flunkies. What the hell is going on? You push it out of your mind. You know where you're going. Whatever finds you on the road will find you. You peel out. It's about a 9-hour drive, and you've researched motels and abandoned buildings starting at Albuquerque in case traffic or trouble leaves you stranded. Fortunately, traffic is light. You drive east on the 10 and pass the spot where you ditched your Honda CRX. Oh man. That was quite an opening to the game. There's a Nosferatu at the 7-Eleven. Yeah, he's all chained up and crazy. Social penalties are never worth it. Idly curious, spend 20 minutes exploring the abandoned filling station, but the white is long gone. Filling station, convenience store, whatever it was. Julian texts you as you're heading back to your car. She's going to turn you into a newt when she learns the Eagles cut her off. Before you can respond, another text. Get her on our side, or try to recruit her scholars, scientists, etc. I need good people, and unlike some usurpers I could name, I don't spit acid at people when I lose my temper. An hour later, he texts, learn everything you can about the facility. Collect blood samples if possible. I hear she's captured a witch. I don't believe in witches, but check it out anyway. I'm talking about... Alright, I'm confused. Tremere are blood witches. Is he referring to witches as in a mage? 20 minutes later, a final text. I've ruined another of your phones. Drop it off in the bathroom of the next Shell station. Don't destroy the SIM card. There's a replacement under the sink. A few more minutes up the road, you spot the Shell station. You pull in and do the phone trick again. Keep the SI, just keep them rolling around. A few minutes later, you pass a garage marked with Julian's Karambit and make a mental note of its location. The hard copy map on your dashboard insists that you're going from one town to the next, but you don't see anything, just the road and distant lights. From the highway, even Albuquerque is just a blur of low buildings and exit ramps. Past Santa Fe, the landscape grows more lush, with scrubby trees lining the highway and the distant hills dotted with green, subtle hues visible to your sensitive eyes. The drive takes you through lots of towns named after bigger ones. The landscape grows rocky and pale cliffs rise beside the road. You stop at the last all-night gas station to fill your BMW's tank, then head into a wild and ungoogled landscape that stretches flat all the way to St. Louis for all you know. There's no radio out here, so you try to enjoy the sound of the engine because you don't want anything on your disposable phones. No trouble, though. No tails, no weird unmarked cars, no circling eagles for now. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little car, too. Like once someone sees the black veins in your aura and you're getting around, no one's gonna think you're cool. Yeah. Researching NVIDIA Cowell has been difficult even with Julian's interest in recruiting her. NVIDIA first popped up in a major New York chantry, as in the Chantry of the Five Boroughs with Aisling Sturbridge, as the errand girl for a far more powerful member of Clan Tremere, Aisling Sturbridge. When the Beckoning lured elders to the Middle East and the Second Inquisition destroyed the Tremere's most important chantry in Vienna, bumped my microphone, she grabbed as many resources as she could and fled into the desert. Like plenty of scholarly kindred, Dr. Cowell dreams of breeding animals with human quality blood. Really? That's what a lot of scholarly kindred dream of? Alright. You're not sure if she's been successful, but you know that her facility, Kiowa Xenogenics, has connections to biomedical firms all over the world. Too many connections, in fact. Those connections don't exactly represent a breach of the Masquerade, but the whole situation is too close to daylight for Prince Letov's liking. No wonder he's shutting her down. He'd probably wipe KXG off the map if he could. She isn't going to like that, and vampires tend to shoot the messenger. I forgot to buy a gun, you guys. Oh, I totally forgot. I bought that extra dot in firearms, and I forgot to go to Covenant to buy the gun. Oh, so dumb. I'm so dumb. Let's hope I can run away really fast or hide. You're between towns, about an hour from the legal limits of Dr. Cowell's territory, when headlights appear behind you. They're coming apart. You instinctively put a hand on your messenger bag where you keep the data destined for Dr. Cowell. The headlights blow past you. Then the vehicle spins out, throwing up dust and grit. It skids to a halt 100 yards up the road, its headlights pointing out into the big expanse of nothing that waits outside every New Mexico highway. You slow down when you see the red Corolla, or to be more precise, the maroon Toyota AE86. This is the car Letov mentioned. The little hatchback looks to be in good shape. What is it, 85, 86? It's an import, regular left-hand drive. Oh, sorry, I'm running as New York 1999 at the moment. That's awesome. Are you using the 1993 or 94 New York by Night book? You slam on the brakes and swerve as a figure stumbles onto the road. You spin out just like the AE86 and sputter to a halt in the gravel. After that wipeout, you take a moment to line up your mirrors, then you back up so you're next to the Corolla. Carlos is leaning against his passenger door looking ashen and clutching his stomach. You haven't seen him since he and Miguel, the guy who died at Camp Sheffler, were snooping around your old apartment in the Tucson parking garage. Letov's servant, Alexander, said Carlos was a cop. That's a good thing for a vampire to keep on the payroll, though this guy doesn't look like a cop now. He looks like roadkill. It takes Carlos a moment to focus on you. He says something, but you can't hear him over the pounding beats of Cairncraft 400. "Turn that down," you shout. He nods vaguely and crawls back into his car to turn the music down, leaving a smear of blood on the door handle. What is happening to all these ghouls? "Huddy, Prince Leto actually sent you? The fucking lunatic?" "You have something for me?" you ask. You glance back towards the road, but it's quiet. Just a few cars drifting past, and none of them can see you or the AE86. Carlos holds up a ruggedized plastic pelican case in matte black, like you'd use to transport a pistol or a really good optical camera. "Leto wants this delivered to a waiting plane." "Where?" He turns the case around. An address and a key are on the other side. Blood has stained the tape. You consult your mental map of New Mexico. That's 2 hours south, and you're not going south. "And it needs to be there by 6 a.m. The plane can't wait longer than that." You shake your head. A 6 a.m. delivery gives you no time to get undercover. "Come the fuck down," Carlos says. "There's a whole bunch of trailers just up the road from where you're going. The key is right here." He holds up the case again. "Just do the job." Ugh, fuck me. I'd rather eat him. "I run parcels for money, Carlos. Pay me or I'm finishing my delivery to Kiowa Xenogenics." I don't really care if this guy's dying. Yeah, I should though ask him who attacked him. Same people who killed Miguel at Camp Sheffler. I need a bigger picture. I'm gonna stay safe and undestroyed. Yeah, I should ask him that, actually, because I'm curious. Old book, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah. If I could see them, I'd deal with it myself, Carlos says. I got shot when I was filling my tank. Never saw anything. Maybe hunters, maybe anarchs, who knows? I just know it fucking hurts, so shut up for a moment and let me concentrate. He closes his eyes as sweat pours down his face. After a moment, he's breathing a little more easily, though his skin is still ashen. Unlike Miguel, Carlos is able to heal himself. Now stop asking questions and deliver this parcel, he says, throwing it through his driver's side window and onto your lap. Or Prince Leta will make Riga peck your eyes out while I watch. Don't let the Inquisition get it. Or the Anarchs. Anarchs, you say? Carlos restarts his AE-86 and roars on out of there, blasting your BMW with dust and grit. You pocket the key and check the address one more time. 2 hours? This isn't a Scotty on Star Trek problem. By all known laws of physics, getting there in time is entirely possible. But it's a cops all over the road problem. You can't afford to get pulled over doing 105 down some New Mexico highway. You check your maps and consider the possibilities. A busier road would let you weave through traffic and stay hidden, though you'd have to pay attention to avoid police cruisers. There's also a less busy route where you could just trust to raw speed and determination to get you where you need to go. Are those the only 2 routes? You might be able to find another way using your maps if you study them, but that might take time you don't have. Ooh. First I check out the case. What could be in it? Yeah, what's in it? The Pelican case is made of heavy, ruggedized black plastic with 2 alloy locks. These aren't the cheap locks like the ones you could pick. You have no idea how to get into it. The case itself looks like a pistol case, though you can't be sure. You check the key you've already pocketed. The fob gives you an exact location in a mobile home community. In case there isn't anything there, you check your body bags in case you have to spend a day outside. All right, so we got wit awareness, resolve drive, intelligence, academics. Pretty sure resolve is my best. Intelligence, wits, resolve. Resolve's my best choice, whatever it is going to be. So I take a nearly deserted road and rely on my BMW's raw speed and my own determination to outrace anyone else. That's the one I'm going to try because that's my best roll. Rough options? Yeah, I'd say so. Hey, Ethan. Welcome to the stream. A stream that's not going to be going on for very much longer, but welcome. I think, yeah, that's the one I'm going to do. I'm going to take the deserted road and hopefully my BMW is going to kick ass. You get your BMW moving again, then take the next exit and hit the nearly empty frontage road at 75 miles per hour. Then you keep accelerating. You pass a few cars, but it's quiet here. After 15 minutes, you spot another car ahead of you. It's a black Camaro, specifically I don't know what this means. A 1987 IROC Z. Camaros were cheap muscle cars in your youth, beloved of metalheads and horsepower geeks. The driver lets you pass, then accelerates, easily keeping pace with you. Great. What the hell? You stomp the accelerator, focus totally on the road for a moment. When you check your mirrors, the Camaro is gone. Not behind you, just gone. You slow down for a moment, then remember that you have places to be. You speed back up, still scanning for the Camaro, but it doesn't return. So is that someone who has high obfuscate, makes their whole car disappear? Well, I'm here until the end. Witness me, Cade. Witness me. Witness me, Bloodbag. The one police interceptor that spots you gives you a hell of a chase for about a quarter mile, but you hop the median and kill your lights, and they can't keep up. You leave them in the dust, no doubt reporting your very fake license plate. You don't slow down until you turn off an unlabeled side road with 15 minutes to spare and race for your target, the Pelican case bouncing on the passenger seat next to your messenger bag. Hope I get paid extra for this. You brake hard when the asphalt suddenly vanishes beneath your wheels, leaving you on a dirt path illuminated by starlight. You weren't exactly expecting a whole secret airport, but there's barely even an airstrip ahead of you. Just a patch of hard-packed earth surrounded by jagged rocks in one direction and an infinite-seeming expanse of yellow sedge in the other. You're early. You can tell because you hear a buzzing whine overhead. You lean out the window and spot a small twin-engined light aircraft coming in for a landing. It should arrive in a minute or so. You roll your BMW into position so you can hand off the parcel as quickly as possible. You're feeling entirely confident until the floodlights hit you. Of course! And I forgot to buy a gun! I forgot! Oh, God. Not that I should be shooting at the SI, but might help. They are mortals, after all. A half dozen black Buick Avenires are now visible not far from your position. One SUV has a light strip on its roof which illuminates the airplane and catches your BMW at the edge of its light. The FBI Special Affairs Division is here. You're just getting ready to roll backwards when shots ring out. You duck, but they're not shooting at you. 3 wolves rush the SUV closest to the tall grass. One beast smashes... Oh, yeah, you have some gangrel help. One beast smashes right through the passenger window. A moment later, blood sprays all over the inside of the windshield. You remember some of them at Camp Sheffler, though not like this. There must be a half dozen of them moving so fast that they're like ever-shifting blurs of flesh and fury. All right, I'm guessing gangrel anarchs want whatever is in this package that the prince gave us. No gun. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's the story of my whole life. No gun. Uh-oh. Plague vampire, I mean. As the wolf gangrel swarm out of the devastated SUV, more appear from the darkness and rush the Inquisition on ATVs. Armed with old rifles or cheap submachine guns, they open fire with wild abandon, laughing even when they get hit. What's a gunshot and a fall to the kindred? The ATVs throw up a cloud of dust that obscures the battle. You're not sure what the gangrel are doing here, but as the battle erupts, you have a clear path to the airplane. The pilot is visible now, illuminated in the open side door. Just before you can roll forward, a dark blue 1963 Ford Fairlane roars past you, heading for the plane. Its driver is visible only for a moment in silhouette. You catch a glimpse of a French braid and a heavy hulking physique, but the federal agents with guns remain visible in the glow of the floodlight. The airplane rolls forward, getting ready to take off, but the side door remains open. You can throw the parcel in if you can get close enough. Dust from the ATVs swirls around the runway. So it's a race then. You need to get this parcel to that airplane before those agents shoot the pilot to threads. And you're doing it while gangrel anarchs rip into the FBI. You gun the engine. God damn it. This won't end well? Yeah, no kidding. Even as you start to move, you analyze the field ahead of you. The raging battle to your right isn't actually your problem. Whoever wins, Gangrel or the Second Inquisition, they won't be able to interfere before the plane takes off. Dying, my throat's dying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I need a gun if I can just run everyone over. I can't run over a plane, though. The twin engine is moving faster now, its running lights and the glowing rounded rectangle of its open door barely visible through the swirling dust. With the Fairlane in the way, there's no clear path where you can just accelerate hard and get close enough to throw the parcel. The path ahead is rough, dangerously rough at one point, where there's a large bump in the road that you'd hesitate to go over even in an old Ford. Okay, so I could say fuck this and ditch the parcel and get out of there, which I don't want to do because I want to have better standing with the Camarilla just because I need better discounts on my junk. Okay. Okay. Oh, I should have upped my strength. My strength is garbage. Alright, so I can do here resolve plus intimidation, or dexterity and athletics. I think I'm pretty good at dexterity. Alright, so dexterity is 3 and athletics is 1, or what was it? Resolve and what was it? Resolve and intimidation. Resolve, and I got 2. All right, I gotta go for resolve, and I gotta use my resolve again because that seems to be my best stat, whatever it is, whatever crazy insane thing it is. I have to use my resolve. It's just way better than anything else I got. I steel my nerves and force that Fairlane off the road. Even though the medium of a car, I know how to scare someone. Yeah, we're gonna use my car as a weapon. That's my intimidation. I don't need a gun. I have a huge BMW. I could do it. I can. Here's to the rolling. There we go. How hungry am I? Did I get hungrier? Yep. 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 Those mid-century cars are made with a lot of steel, so it's not like you can do more than scratch the paint or scrape the paint. But humans are creatures of instinct, and you know how to scare them. You wrench the wheel once, then back off as FBI agents shoot. They can't hit anything with the driver startled. Then you turn into the fair lane again, and the driver loses her nerve. She veers off right toward an oncoming Buick SUV. Both drivers wrench their wheels, and the vehicles clip each other with a scream of metal, then sputter to a halt. They're finished. You accelerate so you're alongside the prop plane. You grab the Pelican case and fling it through the door. The airplane lifts off, you spin the BMW around, blasting gravel, and get off the strip, driving right through the yellow sedge with your lights off as the gangrel FBI battle rages behind you. But no one follows you, and after a few minutes you slow down. Thank God! We lived! Another mission accomplished. You head for the mobile home community where you're supposed to have shelter for the day. You're inside an old Airstream with 15 minutes to spare. The next evening, you peek outside, then run a few slow-as-molasses internet searches to see if anyone might have followed you here. Nothing. You did it. You remind yourself that Letov owes you another grand and get back on the road toward Kiowa Xenogenetics. He does owe me another grand. Absolutely he does. I'm probably going to go for like another 15 minutes, and then that's where I'm going to end the stream, wherever we are. I'll leave it as a cliffhanger like I did the first part. Just curious. My worst is social stuff. Besides strength. My worst is social stuff. I'm like the most awkward person ever. Oh boy. Yeah. Just awful. My convictions changed at all? No. Not really. I have really high humanity. I'm awesome. Except I'm not. You pass an old mining village abandoned since cowboy times and stop to mark its location on the map. A few buildings might offer you cover from the sun if things go badly. There are no signs and the fence looks just like all the others, but you know you're close when the road gets better. When you spot a headlight in the distance, you instinctively kill your BMW's lights and pull over. Two Kawasaki ATVs rumble down a side road. Men with rifles and helmets ride the ATVs. They look like border patrol, but you know they're private security. Good ones too if those bolt-action bad rock rifles are anything to go by. Maybe they're looking for some of the prisoners that we let loose in the detention facility because it's wrong. We did it because it's wrong. Those are guns for people who don't miss. One shot will drop a buffalo or a vampire. You're just wondering if you should introduce yourself since you have all your paperwork in order when the guards take off, followed by a low-flying quadcopter drone. Another mile down the road, you spot the sheep. They look like regular sheep, except they wear trafficking collars and they have 4-digit numbers painted on one flank. Okay. These must be Dr. Cowell's xenogenetic specimens. You remember Julian's text. He'd like a sample. He's impressed with you so far, but this might really secure his respect and a position in whatever the hell he's doing. You're not sure you want to sink your fangs into one of the xeno sheep, but there are other animals about. Now might be a good time to hunt. I have 2 hunger, right? 2 hunger? I don't need to hunt, not really. I usually like to stick myself up to 4 hunger and then get desperate. One hell of a throw, yeah, I'd say so. Never do that again. I never make that throw again. I'll extract some sheep blood for Julian. I'll extract some blood, but keep it for myself. I guess I'll extract some for Julian. Whatever. It's fine. It's just, I guess we're just falling for him all over again. We're falling for his crap, and then he's just going to abandon us again. Just as you hop out of the car and stretch your legs, the xenogenetic sheep hurry away into the underbrush. You check the eastern sky. You made good time, but you still have a few hours before dawn, but there's a lot of territory out here. You need a plan. You check your folding knife, because while you have a blood and tissue kit, you'll also need a sharp blade to bring down the sheep. God. Trained in wilderness survival, I'll look for tracks and follow them. Wits and survival, no. I'll have to be patient, but my keen senses will let me sniff out the sheep when the wind changes. Resolve, and awareness. I stay in my car and go off-road, taking my time until I see another sheep. Resolve and drive. Alright. Resolve and drive would give me 2 black dice and 2 red dice. Resolve and awareness, same thing. So it's one of the, it just doesn't matter. Same thing. Let's go look for another sheep in our car. The sheep never has a chance. You dart out of the shadows. Your knife flashes, and the animal falls with its throat torn open. Jesus, you were just supposed to take some blood. You're supposed to kill it. I must have gotten a messy critical. Ignoring the temptation of the pumping blood, you position the vial under the fatal wound and wait until you have 100 milliliters. You'll hand it over to Julian once you're back in Tucson. That must have been a messy critical, because there was no reason to kill it. Oh my god. Holy crap. You might regret not having hunted later. It's fine. I like to ride. I like to ride the edge. I like to ride the hunger. Dr. Cowell's facility consists of several structures. You see a long, low building of green glass and white concrete, trailers for the long-term personnel, and a parking lot. There's also a little outdoor coffee shop with a patio. Behind the main building is a refurbished ranch, a garage for the ATVs, and a landing strip for light aircraft. A high chain link fence dotted with security cameras surrounds most of the facility. Quadcopter drones drift overhead as you stop at the main gate. The woman guarding the yellow gate takes one look at your laminated introductory letter and immediately buzzes you through. You go on ahead to the intersection, she says, and turn right. There's a trailer waiting for you, number 23. The trailer is clean and blandly furnished, except for the thick maroon drapes, which look like they were borrowed from a castle. They completely blot out the sun, though it still feels safer to sleep in the made-up storage space under the table than on the bed. Dr. Cowell knows you're here, but you don't have time to worry just yet. The moment the sun crosses the horizon, you're asleep. Once you're dressed and cleaned up, you walk around before you head inside. The main facility's security right now is just one big guy with a holstered pistol next to a metal detector. He's watching his laptop in a big atrium with shiny foam marble walls and lots of glass. It's probably busy during the day, but right now it's quiet, though not deserted. Outside the main facility is a detached security officer and a little cafe. There's a gap between them where the fence doesn't cover, though there are cameras everywhere in that direction. No one seems to pay much attention to you, though the quadcopter drones keep you company. No threats, at least not yet. You pass through security. Did I wake up hungry? I did not. Thank God. You enter a circular room illuminated by a giant red hologram of a hemoglobin molecule. It's labeled KXG Kiowa Xenogenics. A party is in full swing. 20 scientists and technicians are chatting, drinking wine from fancy glasses, or gathered around a baby grand piano where a man in a tweed jacket is playing ragtime. A whiteboard reads, "Congratulations, Dr. Takahashi, on your..." and then a complex formula that's beyond your ability to understand because I have low intelligence, despite your technical training, because I'm dumb. Oh, hello. Hello, darling. The art is fantastic. You must be the courier, a young woman says. My name is Vanny Anand. Dr. Cowell will be here in a few minutes. Until then, help yourself to some wine. And I apologize beforehand if anyone badgers you. We're trapped in here for months at a time like Antarctic researchers, and anyone new is interesting. Vanny isn't really dressed for a party. She's wearing a loose-fitting work shirt full of pens and notebooks, though she's put on gold earrings and sometimes gleam red in the holographic light. Before you can chat, Vanny gets a text and excuses herself, leaving you at the edge of the party. You scan the crowd, contemplating how to make a good first impression with these people. Dr. Cowell will react badly to the information you're carrying, and you don't want your behavior here to make her mood even worse. Any weird sorcery on display? I'm always interested in the weird stuff. Any masquerade violations? I hate to be a narc. That's exactly what a narc would say. Let's scan the crowd for threats. They look pretty harmless. Most of the scientists look well off and well fed. There's an old money smell to a lot of them, from the WASP doctors listening to ragtime on the piano to the comfortable looking computer scientists. Most of them immigrants from India and Pakistan. Everyone seems pleased with themselves and a little bored. Everyone except one red-haired woman who skulks in the shadows. Pale and sullen looking, she has the wan look of a blood doll, but her blue eyes are hard and wild as a trapped wolf's. She wears a long moss green cardigan that she keeps pulling down over her wrists and silver rings with occult symbols, so she's a Tremere then. You can only read part of her shirt under the cardigan. Ect tec ace tradit. Latin? I don't speak Latin. The Tremere are a bunch of creepy warlocks, but they normally hide better than this. No, they don't. No wonder Prince Letov wants this place shut down. You consider whom to approach and what you want. Potential allies for you and Julian, to uncover the secrets of this place, perhaps to increase your own power. Or maybe you should just try to put Dr. Cowell in a good mood for your inevitable meeting. Oh, God. The weird stuff is always the best kind of stuff, yeah. Don't know, we're not really a weird stuff kind of person. We're more like, I want to run way fast and I want to hide kind of a person. Alright, so what are our roles here? Charisma and persuasion, garbage at it. Intelligence, garbage. Manipulation, garbage. Resolve. Alright, I'm going to canvas for information and use my investigative skills to learn what Dr. Cowell is up to. It should be easy if I focus purely on facts. That's our best option. A good investigator knows how to read people and how to read the environment. More importantly, she knows how to wait, watch, and listen. You circle the party, listening in on conversations, studying the clothing and equipment of the scientists. A picture slowly emerges. KXG has indeed made some important breakthroughs, but Dr. Cowell seems increasingly frustrated. You spot one scientist with marks on her hands. Are those... what's that word? Chilblains? How do you risk frostbite in New Mexico? The scientist mentions something called the Snow Room, which piques your interest. You approach a dapper young Pakistani computer scientist and get him talking. He tells you the Snow Room is only a rumor, Dr. Cowell's secret project. He insists that the Xeno sheep are just a front for something far more ambitious. Oh, I'm really glad we killed that sheep then. And hints at failed cloning and grafting experiments, old technology flown in from Europe, and more sinister practices. When he glances down at his empty wine glass, he seems to realize he's said too much and hurries away. But you're starting to understand the shape of Dr. Cowell's operation here. Is this Dr. Cowell? It is. She looks happy to see me. 3 Tremere, 1 Ventrue, and 1 Toreador. Z's. Okay, so this is actually where I'm going to end it, right before we meet Dr. Cowell and see what she has to say to herself, see how she's going to react when we tell her the Camarilla will no longer be funding her research and other stuff like that. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. This is really fun. I'm really loving this game. After this, we still have one more delivery to make, and I don't know what the story holds for after that. We seem to be on the path to trying to get back in good with our sire Julian, which I don't know if that's a good idea at all. But there's something about him I just kind of like. And there's something about Prince Letov I kind of don't like. So I'm just sort of leaning more that way. Plus, you know, I love the Banu Hakim being independent. And, you know, I love that Julian is sort of sticking to that and not trying to get in good with the Camarilla like a lot of his clanmates are. So that also really appeals to me. But yes, thank you everyone so much for being here, and I'll be streaming this again tomorrow at around the same time, so I hope to see you there. So thank you everyone in the chat, you've been totally awesome, and yeah, stay safe out there. Bye!